Greetings, travelers! So today's tutorial, by popular request, we are going to be showing two aspects of Ancient Warfare 2 that a lot of people have been asking how to do. The first one, we're going to show how to do custom skins within the mod pack, or within the mod, and then we are going to go over how to set up teams. So as you can see, I've kind of gotten started a little bit. I got myself a lumberjack and a commander here, and they're in their default skins. So what I'm going to do is I've kind of got a little bit of setup. You see the town hall in the back, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up a different screen because this is a lot of what you've got to do to prep for this is going to be outside of the game. So let me go ahead and get that set up, and I will be right back. Alright, welcome back everybody. Okay, so the first step with Ancient Warfare is, for custom skins, it's not as straightforward, and you are going to need some kind of archive software, WinRAR, 7-zip, something that can open up jar files, which are considered an archive. Once you've done that, you're going to need to go into wherever the instance is for your Minecraft. In my case, it's where I'm developing my mod pack, but it's going to be in the mods folder. You're going to find the Ancient Warfare mod, and in my case I'm using 7-zip, and you'll open archive. Once you're in there, you're going to go to Assets, Ancient Warfare, and then skin_pack, and you're going to make a copy of the zip file. Once you've done, in my case, I created a separate folder for it. I've already done the copying. Once you've done that, what I did to make this easier is I went ahead and extracted it as the pack name. And then once it opens, you'll see these are all the current skins that Ancient Warfare has for all the NPCs. Now the key point here is one, you're going to need to pay attention to this in order to open it, to edit it. Any kind of text editor, I use Notepad++, and take note of the skin. So if you want to replace one of the default skins that are in the pack, all you'll need to do is just find the name of the skin, find a skin that you want, and in this case what I'm going to do is we're going to replace, I had the lumberjack and the commander. So what we're going to do here is, here's the commander. And let's open up another folder here just to make it easier to show you. And we're going to rename the skin there. And then we're going to find the lumberjack. There he is. Okay, and then we'll take both of these skins. We're going to copy them. We're just going to let it overwrite what's already here. So you'll get that asking you, do you want, files match? Go ahead and replace them, because that's what we're doing in this case. And that's all there is to it. If you're replacing a default skin, that's how you do it. Now if we want to add a custom skin, now keep in mind when you make these changes, you're going to want to make sure Minecraft is not running, or if it is, you're going to have to shut it down and reload it so that it loads the skins properly. But we're also going to add a new skin. We are going to, well, I'll tell you what, give me just a moment and I'll be right back. Alright, so welcome back. And so what I've done here is I have a bunch of skins hiding all over my computer. So I just grabbed one at random, the Arcane Warlord. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to add a new skin. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to open up that MC Meta in Notepad++, and at the very bottom of the list, we're going to add one new line. We're just going to call this Arcane and then we're going to give it the name of the skin. And it's including the capitalization and everything. That is key. So we'll do that, and then .png. Now you want to make sure that the skins currently, and this is in 1.7.10, so the skins are in the 64 by 32 format, not the new 1.8 format, which is 64 by 64. So if you do get a skin, either make sure that it's in that format, or once you get it downloaded, you're going to want to edit it in some kind of image software. I use Adobe Photoshop. And then cut it down to the right size, which is what I had to do with these two, because even though they're still using a 1.7.10 skin, they have the newer skins that are done automatically, and it just basically recopies parts of the skin down below, so I just had to cut that off. So once we have that listed, we're going to take this, copy it, we're going to want to put it in here, so that it's in there, and then we're going to want to save that line, and then we're going to want to reload the game. So I will come back once I have that done, because it's going to take a minute to load the pack up, and we'll continue from there. Okay, welcome back. Real quick before I started, almost forgot. Once you've done those changes, you've added the skin in, you've made the change to the skin pack meta file, one of the more important things, you need to turn it back into this. So, now this is going to vary based on the archive tool that you're using. Since I'm using, in this case, it'll be using 7-zip. You're going to want to repackage this as an archive. And if you did it right, then the name of the archive should automatically be taken care of. And it really shouldn't take very long. Now you're going to take this, and we're going to move it. And again, you're going back into the instance where you got the mod, but this time you're going into the config folders. Go to NPC and skins, and paste that back. Now this way, what'll happen is when the game loads, it'll load this rather than one inside the mod. So this time, be right back, and we'll show you in game. Come back. Alright, so we've got the game loaded, and as you can see, I am joined by Modi101 and Snoop787, and I'm just kidding. So we actually, since what you see that we did everything alright, so now the default skin for the Lumberjack and the Commander are now the skins that we specified. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you the new skin that we got for the Arcane. So we'll just pull one of these NPCs out of, let's see, let's just go with a worker. So put the worker down. And of course he's going to go get food and just stand there and eat. So what we're going to do here is we type Arcane, and bam, he is now an Arcane Mage. So the key here is the skin, the name, is going to be whatever you gave it on the left hand side of that line. Can't pull up the text, but if you remember, we did Arcane was a name equals, and then the actual full real name of the file. So arcanemage.ping or whatever it was that we had. And that's what will give them the new skin. So if you want custom skins beyond what Ancient Warfare gives, this is what you do. If you want to replace an existing one, like you want to do, you have a specific theme in mind. So if you're a map maker, what you would end up doing then is you would take the default skins, and let's say you're going for a medieval theme, because most of the skins in Ancient Warfare are kind of like a default Steve, some variation of it. So if you had some kind of medieval theme, or let's say like a shooter game like Call of Duty or something like that, you want your skins to, or your NPCs to all be themed based on that, then you would replace all the default skins with the particular skin that you want from that theme. Maybe you want the commander to look like some kind of ancient knight if you're doing medieval, or the skin from Halo 4 for the Master Chief as a commander. You could just do that, replace the skin, and keep the name like I showed you. Otherwise, that's all there is to the skins. If you have any questions in particular about something that I did in here and you want a little more detail, by all means, please leave that in the comments. So let me get set up, and then we're going to do how teams go in this game. And I'll be right back. Alright, so welcome back. The one thing to keep in mind with teams in Ancient Warfare is, rather than reinvent the wheel, he just decided to use the vanilla scoreboard system. So the key here is, first you got to set up the scoreboard. So I just happen to have it already, and this is the start. So you're going to do the scoreboard, teams, add. Name is going to be the name of the team. So let's go ahead, and since we're keeping with the theme of who we have, we're going to call this Snudian. And then the display name, which is going to show up to the right in the little box, we're going to call that Snudia Empire. So now, the key here is we need to add the player to that team. So we're going to go scoreboard, teams, add, and we're going to add me. So now, all of these that I've placed are already by default my workers. They're now on my team. Anybody else that's not on my team can't interact or do anything with them. Now if you want to have the display to the right, okay, so I did have one little thing incorrect. If you noticed, I did the team part here wrong. Actually what I need to do is this, teams join, and that adds me to the player. If you want to confirm that, you go to teams list, and it'll show you there is now one player, and it'll show you that I added to the team Snudian. So to display the teams, you're going to need to run this command. Alright, so what you're going to do in order to set the sidebar is you first have to set the goal. So the goal is going to be, in this case we're going to do death count. So we need to add, it's going to be the scoreboard, objectives, add deaths as the name, death count, and deaths as the display name. Once you've done that, you're going to scoreboard, objectives, set display, the sidebar, which is where it will show up on the side, and the name that you gave it. So once everybody dies, or as soon as somebody dies, and ta-da! You'll now see on the side, it shows how many deaths. Now, of course, you can do other ones, and I would suggest going to the Minecraft wiki in order, and I'll try and remember to put a link in the description for it. It'll give you all the different types of things you can track. Now, keep in mind that some of them do not work in 1.7 because there's some that are for 1.8 only. But that's how you're going to set up teams and some objectives. You don't have to do the objectives, but at least set up teams. So now what will happen is everybody that is a part of the Snudian Empire, as you can see right over here, anybody that's a part of that team can interact with anything. The NPCs, the gates, any of the ancient warfare blocks that are linked to a player, anybody that's on the same team can now do it. The biggest example would be the gates that you can build. Unless you're on the same team, you can't open the gate that somebody else has placed. But if you are on the team, now the gate you can interact with and do what you need to. Adding the deaths is just something fun to show, deaths or the number of kills or, whatever you want for the objective. If you want it, you don't have to. But just to recap, to create the scoreboard, you're going to do what you see down here, which is scoreboard teams, add the name of the team and then the name of the, the display name of the team. After that, you're going to join, and then the name of the team and the name of the player, but not the display name of the team, just the name of the team. That'll add you to the team, and you'll have to do that for everybody. So just because you create it, you're not automatically in there. So if you have, say you're on a server and you've got 2 or 3 people, after you create the team, everybody, including the person that created the team, has to do the join. The main person, whoever has op command, can add the players. Not everybody has to do it themselves. Once you've done that, you can do objectives, and that is here, scoreboard objectives, add, and in this case I did deaths for the death count, and then to set the sidebar for display, of course killed myself, and that's how you will set this up. Alright, one last final thing. You notice that it's a little bland. Everything's white. And I believe... you can't see my own name. So, the names of the players will be white too. But here's what we're going to do that's a little different. We want to add color. So, here's basically the command. So, the team is going to be Snootian. And there are several values that are for... color. In my case, I'm going to do dark blue. And again, this goes back to the wiki. I would say go there. There's a list of all this information. So now, not only is the name in the sidebar colored, but this is a way to identify who owns what, at least team-wise. Because you'll notice the names of the NPCs are now all the same color. And this way, if you're on a server and you want to have factions amongst players, rather than, whatever, like in my case, my mod pack has factions from both Lord of the Rings, and it has factions from custom NPCs, and here is yet one more faction that you can actually set up using the Ancient Warfare mod so that your NPCs are identified differently from somebody else. So I hope that gives all the information. Please feel free to leave comments, questions, concerns in the comments section. Leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. But there you go. There's how to add custom skins and to add teams and even a little extra information for the teams in the game. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming along. And you guys have a great day.